to introduce yourself?
All right, I will. I got a whole slide for that. So how many of you just came from Kevin's presentation? All right, I swear to God, I did not pay him to just talk about ATD the entire time in this presentation. But yeah, I was at the networking event with Kevin Thursday night as well, so I know Kevin for a while, and I know how much he's gotten out of this membership. So what I want to do today is talk about the two ATDs, because people really get them confused, and I can certainly understand why the logos look almost identical. Okay, but there's a national organization, and then there's a San Diego chapter that you can also be a member of, and they serve two different purposes. So we'll talk about both of those. But first, I want to introduce to you who I am. So I thought I'd do that through picture. So, taking a look at this, what do you think that says about me? Anything? Anything you see that recognize?
You like beer and cupcakes?
All right, so I live in Chula Vista. Okay, so there's a lot of new breweries in Chula Vista, and one of them, Groundswell, had a cupcake and beer pairing. Okay, so it was great. The one across the street, Three Punks, had a donut and beer pairing. It's great. So yes, I live in Chula Vista. I've been there for 18 years. My background is that before 18 years, whoops, I didn't want to do that. I shouldn't touch it. I gotta remember that. Okay. I used to live in Massachusetts, so I lived there my entire life before I came out here. So you'll hear that accent, I'm sure, come up.
Whereabouts?
I grew up in Hudson.
I grew up in Hudson.
Did you really? Oh my God, that's amazing. No one's ever heard of Hudson, Massachusetts.
Lived on Old Road.
All right, I lived on River Street, across from the pond.
I spent 7 years in Worcester.
Okay, all right, very good. I lived in Millbury after I got married. And then I was able to relocate out here. I worked for Bose for 30 years, and they relocated me and my husband, because he also worked at Bose as well.
When you worked for Bose, did you know Broussard?
Who?
Broussard?
Broussard?
Last name Broussard?
Nope, don't recall it, but that is crazy interesting. That's funny. Small world, right? So yeah, I worked for Bose for 30 years, and then I had the opportunity to move to Kleinfelder, which is an engineering and science consulting firm headquartered downtown in San Diego. And I worked there for 10 years. When Kevin was talking about always prepared for the next opportunity, my job was eliminated in April. So I am in the process of starting my own consulting firm. So I'm very excited about that. Let's see. Those are my two dogs, Bristol and Sheldon. Sheldon is a therapy dog. And this is my daughter, Lisa. She's also a graduate of San Diego State, as well as I got my MBA here. And that's her dog, Romeo. She lives in Bankers Hill, but I still have Romeo because she can't take him with her, so I got 3 dogs at home. I love to wine taste. So I go to Temecula a lot. This is my son, Jason, and he had to bring over his new toy, his virtual reality goggles. So we were having fun with that in the Star Wars Battlecruiser. It was fun. And the last 2 more pictures, though, I tend to race a lot. I've done a couple half marathons. I tend to do 5K, so this is kind of more my speed. And this picture here, my husband and I took a cruise to Cuba in January. So this was in one of the squares, and I just thought it was a fascinating sculpture. So that's a little bit about me. I am currently the president of the San Diego chapter of ATD. And so I want to kind of go over the what, who, and why you would even want to consider being a member of ATD. Hopefully, I'll be able to answer your questions. So I'm going to start with the bigger organization. This is a national organization. Their vision and mission is really about empowering us, training and development professionals. I've been in this field for many, many years. I got my start when I was at Bose. When I was at Kleinfelder, I was their senior learning and development manager. And so it's about empowering professionals to develop talent in the workplace. So as a bigger organization, they provide their members and their customers a lot of different resources resources and tools to help you continue your professional development. So I just took a few screenshots just to give you an idea of the resources that are available. And this is a little bit hard to see on this one. I think it might be a little bit clearer on these LCD screens. But if you go to the ATD website, which is very simple, td.org. Okay. The chapter is tdsandiego.org. Hello. This is the topics that you can find for things that you can explore by topic, by role, or by type. So if you're looking to get into the instructional designer world, or you want to be a manager, or the OD profession, you can learn more about those professions. Here we've got learning technologies, instructional design, and all different other types of topics. The national organization has also created a competency model, and you would find it in here. I didn't take a screenshot of it, but it will tell you all the different skills that someone who might want to go for the credential, they have 2 credentials, I'll talk about those in a bit, need to understand and be fluent in order to pass that exam. So you can search by topic, role, or type. Here you've got the different types of courses they offer and other types of resources to continue your education. And here's the information on the certification. They have 2 certifications, one for the folks at kind of the beginning out in this field, and that's the Associate Professional and Talent Development, ATD. And then for the more seasoned learning and development professional, you've got the Certified Professional in Learning and Performance. And so we have a few folks in our chapter who have those certifications, and I'm sure would be more than happy to speak to anybody if you were interested in it. But there's a ton of information on this website about those. Also, if you look at the San Diego chapter website, you'll see certification courses listed as part of our offerings, and those are some of the certification courses that go along with that CPLP education. Events, they have a lot of events. With any, the ATD International Conference and Expo, that was here in San Diego in May. Anybody have a chance to go by? Good, good. Yeah, Chelsea in the back. It was a great opportunity for ATD members. We could volunteer. If we volunteered for a day, we got a day free. And we had a lot of great speakers. President Obama spoke, and there's just a lot of activity and a lot of things to do. They hold that every year. It's an international expo, so people from all over the world attend that. They also have other specialty ones. Technology, I'll point out. Whoops, don't touch. Technology, that one is very specific to folks wanting to learn more about learning technologies. And I looked it up. I think it's being held, I want to say, in February in Palm Beach. A glad place to be in February. And that's in 2019. But I know they have them in different locations in different years. So I know I've seen it in Las Vegas before. So that might be something you want to check out, just the different activities that are coming up. And they do a lot of webcasts as well that you can take advantage of. One of the things that they do every year is they publish a State of the Industry report. And I also teach training and development at UCSD Extension. And I use this report in all of my classes. The next one I think is due out in November. That'll be the 2018 State of the Industry, which will include data up through 17. So right now, the data is up through 2016. So these are a few that I pulled out of there that I thought you might find of interest. 45% of learning hours used were technology-based. That continues to increase, not at a drastic rate, but I'll show you some of the trend charts of how that's working out. 65% of organizations strongly emphasize on-the-job learning. Personally, I think that's the great opportunity for technology in the learning and development space, is to really find ways to have people be able to access learning in small chunks when they need it, where they are. 1,273 average direct dollars for learning expenditure per employee. So I think that's a pretty good indicator of a strong economy. And 378 average employees per L&D staff member. That fluctuates, but that's tending to drop because of technology-based solutions. So here's some of the trends. I thought they were interesting. So here's the average percentage of formal learning hours available via instructor-led classroom. So you can see that starting to decline. It's a really, really slow but steady decline. Okay, so that's instructor-led classroom. These are the average percentage of formal learning hours available in all delivery methods. So you'll see here in the all instructor-led, that's a little bit higher than what was in the previous line chart. And that is because there's more and more classroom being delivered synchronously via technology, not standing in a classroom like we are today. So that will continue to rise, I think. And the traditional classroom will continue to decrease. This is all self-paced, a little bit of mobile in there, non-computer technology. DVDs, audio CDs, which is starting to. My first introduction to technology learning was through big 12-inch discs that we used for in manufacturing. So I supported manufacturing of those. And so we had plastic molding machines coming in, and all the training was done via a 12-inch disc. And then I learned how to actually create training on that disc, which would take forever. So I never did it because I never had time to even touch it. But it was interesting just to see how far it's come over a period of time. So those are starting to dwindle away. Average percentage of formal learning hours available versus used via technology. And this one's interesting because it's opposite of the classroom experience. It is trending up versus down. But even more interesting is that there are more used versus available. And that's the only way you can do that. You can make a training hour of technology training available, but multiple people can use that training hour. You have a training hour in classroom that if you can't repeat that out. So that's the first time I've really seen that. I've seen a little bit right here, but there's a little bit more statistical difference, I think, there. Being able to use that work over and over and over again. This is content, and they get this data by surveying their members. And then they have kind of a best in class that they compare to as well. So the report's pretty big, it's like 50 pages. But I thought this was interesting too for people in the technology space. Managerial and supervisory training is typically done face-to-face like this. However, I think it's a great opportunity for more blended learning because a lot of the theories behind supervisory and manager development and expectations, that information can be provided. And with the technology becoming more and more robust, you can do that better and better and more engaging. Then you complement that through a blended approach and bring people together so they can have conversations about it. So there's still a great opportunity there. By the time I get to the last slide, I'll have it down. I think, though, for technology, the mandatory and compliance training, when I was at Kleinfelder, we had a whole library of compliance training for our health and safety side of the house. And we worked in dangerous situations, on construction sites, so health and safety was really important. And from a regulation perspective, too, a lot of our workers had to have certain training so they could go onto a job site. So we did all of that training through an e-learning system through our LMS. Procedures, processes, best practices. In addition to any content that we purchased, we also created our own. We had a storyline license, and there were 3 of us at one point working on storyline, putting together very specific courses that related to our particular organization and our particular industry. And so I think that there's, if you just take those 2 pieces right there, as well as orientation, I think that's another great opportunity for technology, learning design. There's great opportunity going forward for you guys. So let me talk a little bit about our chapter. You can see that our missions are very similar, but we're focused on really being that resource for anybody in this space. So whether you're an organizational development person, you're an instructional designer, you're focused on e-learning, you're focused on stand-up facilitation, we want to be able to provide a network for you and provide content for you that's going to be meaningful. And it's hard to do. You've got all kinds of people, and some people are internal, some people are external, and some people have been around for a long time, some people are new, but we try to find content that really can match who our chapter is. We survey our chapter at least once a year, try to get some feedback on what's going on, what do you need, what can we provide that we're not, and get more details from you. As a board, we have been working on a set of values that we wanted to add to our vision and mission statement. And so we came up with these 5 values around integrity, diversity, excellence, being adaptive, and leadership. So those are currently being rolled out. They're up on the website right now, but you'll be hearing more about them as we talk about them in our chapter meetings and our other events. This is just a screenshot of our website. You can see that you can go here and learn about the board, our board members. You can learn about how to join, what the costs are, the events that we have in place. If you were to continue to scroll up there, you can see all the events on the right-hand side. We are calling for board applications for next year, so we have that up front and center. And there's our board. I don't think we missed anybody in there at the time. And so there are a lot of benefits to being part of the San Diego chapter. Networking is one, and we hear that all the time from our members. Kevin was a great example. And it's what you make of it. He is at our events, and he makes the most of those events, and he makes those connections. So the opportunities to meet other people in this field and learn from them is really, really critical, and to keep those relationships open. Our chapter meetings, we are in the process of designing and creating more chapter meetings. Our next one is in October. I'll talk about that one a little bit. But our chapter meetings are free to members. So if you're a member, there's no cost to attend a chapter meeting. They're usually in the kind of the happy hour, early evening time frame, because that seems to be the time frame that hits most people best to be able to attend. The Human Performance Alliance, that's commonly known as the HPA, that's what you're going to hear people refer to it as. That is a casual networking event. It happens the 4th Thursday of every month, except for November and December. It is casual. It's at BJ's Restaurant and Brew House in La Jolla. Usually sit out on the patio, take up a big long table. There's no agenda. You just come and talk to folks and see where the conversation leads. That's one thing I really like about it. I mean, I have so many different types of conversations with different types of people at that event. So we had about 10, I would say 10 to 12 people. I didn't count them per se on Thursday at our event, so it's great. Kevin also talked about the Mentor Protege program. We run that every year, and we connect people who, you don't even have to be new to this industry. You could be like just changing your focus. So if you were an internal person working for a company and now you want to start your own company, that's another opportunity to be a protege. A lot of our proteges become mentors for others in the coming years. It is one of our most acclimated, it's award-winning program that we have. And it's something you should look into if you think that's going to be something that works for you. The program is free. We do charge a small amount for some of the meetings just to cover costs of food and things like that. But it's a great program. It runs about, I want to say, a 6-month time frame, so that there's time to be able to work with your mentor protege, develop your goals, make some progress, and then there's always a celebration, graduation at the end. Volunteer opportunities, it's a great opportunity to volunteer. We are a nonprofit organization. All the work that we do, anything that we can provide, it's all done by volunteers. Our board members are volunteers, and there are only 2 people in the organization that get paid at all, and that's our office manager, based upon how many hours she works, and our events manager, who helps our programs people coordinate food and make sure name tags are there and all that. But everything that we do, we rely on volunteers to do. So it's really important that, when you decide to be a member of the organization, you really think about, how can I provide what I have to offer to the organization. And then leadership opportunities. A step beyond the volunteering is being able to be a committee chair. We have folks that run at the Mentor Protege program that have been doing it for years. They don't even need any help in doing it. They've done it for 3-4 years, and they know the routine, they know the process, and they take the ball and run with it. And they're all volunteers and committee chair people. So there's lots of leadership opportunities to be able to develop those skills as well. Yes?
Membership here means the membership of ATD or ATD
There's 2 different memberships. I'm going to get to that.
Oh.
Yeah, it's 2 different memberships. That's what's important.
Refers to-
This is the chapter.
Oh, chapter members.
Right,
Okay.
right. Yeah. So the national organization, you're not going to have this stuff, right? At the national level, you're going to find courses and resources and books, lots of books, webcasts, events, things like that. Okay? Good question. Because it's hard to separate them. It's hard to even talk. As soon as I think I got it down, I can explain it, but it's so confusing. So here are the chapter upcoming events. We have one coming up October 23rd. And that's going to be at Alliant International University. They're a new partner for us, so we're trying out their space. And the topic is Hidden Obstacles to Outstanding Performance. So you can learn more about that on the website. And even if you're not a member and you're interested in attending, I think the early bird, correct me if I'm wrong, Chelsea, I think the early bird is $35.
So the first year, it's almost a 20% discount.
Yeah, it's like 25 or something like that for students. Yes. Yeah. We have a lot of different membership amounts as well as event pricing. The HPA, the next one will be October 25th, the same week, same place. And John Alexander runs that for us. He, poor thing, had a dental problem on Thursday, and so we all pinched it for him, and we were good. So that's the next one coming up, and that's a minor fee as well if you want to. And on. So here are some starting costs. What I would suggest is if you're interested in membership, to go to the national organization, go and check them out, see if that makes sense for you. You can start at the chapter, and there, if you open up the application, you'll see all the different membership opportunities, and you can see which one fits your situation. There is discounts if you do both. That's called a power membership. So there is discounts available there. If you have any questions on any of that, our office manager takes care of all of our phone inquiries and our email inquiries, and that's office@tdsandiego.org. Even if you're not thinking of becoming a member, you don't think it's the right thing for you right now, but you'd still like to get information, if you go under About, let's go all the way down to the bottom of that drop down, there's a subscribe to news. If you do that, then you'll get on the mailing list and you'll get like my president's letter. I put that out every month, and you'll get information about upcoming events. So at least you'll have things being pushed to you that you see.
Can you join the chapter without joining the national?
Yes, you may. Yeah. Yeah. You can join the national, not the chapter. You can go to the chapter, not the national. Yes. You have that flexibility. So my email is president@tdsandiego.org if you have any questions, but I'm happy to. I know I'm standing between you and food, so that's never a good thing, but if you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them.
Yeah, so I know you mentioned some of the volunteer opportunities, but is there a good way to find out about all the opportunities to get involved? So on the website?
Yeah, what you can do, what I have been doing is reaching out in my president's letter for positions that we're looking for.
Okay.
And so for the needs, because we're finding that to be a better way to pull people in than to say, hey, who wants to volunteer? You say, yeah, I'd like to volunteer. But no one follows up with you. Maybe there's not a need right now.
Yeah.
So we've been doing it that way, and actually it's worked out really well. I had 3 different things I asked for, and I had at least 5 or 6 different responses. So that's the approach we've been taking. However, if you have a specific skill that you see might be of use to the chapter, certainly send me a message, and we can see where that could work in. Okay? Mm-hmm.
If you're not a member yet, could you still show up to like a chapter meeting to select first, or do you have to?
Yeah, you have to register.
Okay. So
Yeah,
you
just register. Yeah. The pricing will be there, and you can pay right online with your credit card. Yeah. I mean, the great way to get started is to go to an HPA. The cost is $10, right? And and you can start to get to know people and talk to them, and you feel a little bit better about whether or not I want to join. So that's a great time to start. That's it. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.